They don't talk about it at breakfast, not at the golf course, not even at the doctor's office. But for millions of men over 60, it's the first quiet disappointment of the day. You wake up, you stretch, you look down, and realize something's missing. Morning wood. Gone. Again. And while no one says it out loud, you feel it. The absence. The doubt. The subtle signal that maybe your best years are behind you. That maybe your body has stopped showing up for you in the way it used to. Now, you might chalk it up to age, or stress, or poor sleep. And yes, those play a role. But what if I told you there's something far more specific, far more silent, that's been sabotaging your performance before you even leave the kitchen? What if the real problem isn't your age, but your breakfast? See, every morning, within just 30 minutes of waking, your body enters a critical window. A window where blood flow can either open or shut down, where nitric oxide, the key molecule that relaxes your blood vessels, either rises or crashes. Most men don't know this, but the foods you choose in that first hour, yes, even something as innocent as toast and coffee, can make or break your circulation for the rest of the day, especially down there. And here's what really gets me. In my practice, I've seen men who had all but given up, men who thought their manhood was gone for good, completely turn things around, not with pills, not with injections, but with real, natural foods, specific foods, eaten at the right time, that unlock your body's own ability to send blood exactly where it needs to go. One man told me, "Doc, I thought it was over for me. I hadn't had morning wood in months. I figured it was just part of getting older. But then I started eating that one thing you mentioned, and 3 mornings later, I woke up feeling like myself again." He didn't whisper it in shame. He said it with pride, with relief, like someone who just found a part of himself he thought was lost. That's the power of eating right. Not trendy diets, not magic smoothies, just natural, science-backed foods that nourish your blood vessels, restore nitric oxide, and reignite what age tried to take away. So if you've been waking up wondering where your morning vitality went, or quietly wishing there was a way to feel like yourself again, stay with me. Because in this video, I'll walk you through 3 specific breakfast foods that act like nature's version of Viagra. No pills, no pressure, just your body, finally getting the support it needs to do what it was built to do. And by the end of this, you'll not only understand why your circulation has been struggling, you'll know exactly what to eat to bring it back to life. Let's begin. My name is Dr. Lily Anderson. I'm a clinical nutritionist and sexual health educator, and for over 20 years, I've helped men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s reclaim the vitality they thought they had lost. I don't offer quick fixes or empty promises. I work with biology, not against it. And when it comes to sexual performance after 60, there's one truth I've seen over and over again. The problem is often not hormonal. It's circulatory. Your arteries, not just in your heart or legs, but in your pelvis, start to stiffen with age. They don't expand like they used to. Blood flow slows. And without good blood flow, the most intimate parts of your body simply can't respond. That's not a failure of desire. It's a failure of delivery. And that's something we can change. Here's the good news. You don't need testosterone shots, expensive medications, or extreme treatments to make that change. In fact, you can begin restoring your circulation starting tomorrow morning, right from your kitchen. Because the right foods eaten at the right time can open up blood vessels, boost nitric oxide production, and help you feel more alive where it matters most. In this video, I'll share with you 3 natural, affordable, and science-backed morning foods that work like nature's version of a blue pill. Foods that support your arteries, fuel your sexual health, and help you rebuild confidence without side effects, without shame, and without making you feel like something's broken. And don't worry, I won't overwhelm you with medical jargon. I'll explain everything simply, clearly, and with respect. Because you deserve to understand your body and how to care for it, without judgment and without fear. By the time we're done, you'll have not only the knowledge, but the tools to start turning things around, one bite at a time. Let's get into the first food. When men come to me saying, "Doc, I want to feel like myself again," I don't hand them a prescription. I open their fridge. Because before pills, before supplements, there's food. And if you're over 60, what you eat in the morning has a direct impact on what happens or doesn't happen later in the day. These 3 foods aren't exotic or expensive. They're real, whole foods, backed by science, used in clinical settings, and chosen by thousands of men who wanted a natural way to support their blood flow and performance. Let's start with one of the most powerful. 1. Beets or beet juice, the nitric oxide igniter. Beets might not sound exciting, but inside this earthy root is one of nature's most effective circulation boosters. Beets are rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that helps relax and widen blood vessels. Now, why does this matter for your manhood? Because erections require blood. Not just a little blood, but strong, steady, unrestricted flow to the pelvic region. And nitric oxide is the messenger that tells your blood vessels to open up and let that blood move freely. As you age, your natural nitric oxide levels decline. That's a big reason why so many men feel less responsive over time. Clinical studies have shown that drinking beet juice can significantly improve flow-mediated dilation, the ability of your arteries to expand within just hours. In one trial, a single serving of beetroot juice increased nitric oxide levels by up to 21%. That means more blood can reach your groin, your legs, and your heart, faster and with less effort. But here's where it gets even better. Beets don't just help with acute performance. Regular intake helps rebuild long-term vascular health. In older men, consuming beets consistently has been linked with better blood pressure control, stronger lower body stamina, and yes, improved morning firmness. So how do you use them? You've got 3 easy options. Raw beet juice, 4 to 6 ounces first thing in the morning, not the bottled sugary kind. Look for cold-pressed, no sugar-added versions, roasted or steamed beets. Add them to a breakfast salad or alongside eggs and greens. Beetroot powder, one of the most convenient forms. Mix 1 teaspoon with water or a smoothie. If you're just starting, go slow. Beets can cause your urine to turn pink. That's totally normal. If you're on blood pressure meds, check with your doctor first, as the vasodilation can enhance medication effects. But when used properly, beets are one of the most affordable and effective foods to reclaim blood flow where it matters most. And the results? Many of my patients report morning returns in as little as 3 to 5 days. 2 pomegranate juice, the royal blood flow booster. For centuries, pomegranates were considered a symbol of male vitality and fertility. Today, modern science shows they earned that reputation. Pomegranate juice is loaded with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that protect blood vessels from oxidative damage. But more importantly, these compounds stimulate the same nitric oxide pathways we talked about earlier. That means wider arteries, more elastic blood vessels, and increased flow to the pelvic region. One study published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men who drank pomegranate juice daily for just 4 weeks reported a significant improvement in erectile quality. And while some effects were subtle at first, the longer they stayed consistent, the more pronounced the benefits became. But pomegranate isn't just about circulation. It also supports testosterone health. Some studies suggest that pomegranate juice can increase salivary testosterone levels by up to 24%, a meaningful shift for men experiencing a gradual hormonal decline. Testosterone doesn't cause erections directly, but it influences libido, confidence, and response. Combined with improved blood flow, that's a powerful 1-2 punch for performance. So how do you use it? Drink 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice each morning, ideally within an hour of waking. Choose 100% pure juice, no added sugars, no blends. If possible, opt for cold-pressed or fresh. Avoid overconsumption. More is not better. Stick to 4 to 6 ounces max. Too much can interfere with medications or upset your stomach. And if you're on statins or blood thinners, talk to your doctor. One of my patients, 69 years old, started with beet juice and saw some improvement. But when we added pomegranate juice, his morning energy and readiness increased even more. He told me, "Doc, I didn't just feel younger, I felt like I could say yes to life again." That's the power of targeted nutrition, and we're just getting started. 3. Avocado, the artery flexibility hero. You might think of avocado as just a trendy topping for toast, but for men over 60, it's one of the most underused tools for vascular health. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats, the kind that reduce inflammation in your blood vessels, support healthy cholesterol levels, and improve the flexibility of your arterial walls. That last part is key, because rigid arteries don't carry blood well, especially not to the small, delicate vessels in your pelvic region. But when those vessels become more pliable, blood flows faster, smoother, and more completely. Avocados are also a great source of potassium, a mineral that helps regulate blood pressure by balancing sodium levels, and they're packed with vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that protects the lining of your blood vessels. So how do they relate to nitric oxide? They make nitric oxide more effective. When your arteries are flexible and free of inflammation, nitric oxide can signal dilation more efficiently. That means faster blood flow, better responsiveness, and a stronger, more reliable morning presence. Avocado also plays well with the other two foods we mentioned. When paired with beets or pomegranate, the fats in avocado actually enhance nutrient absorption, helping your body take in more polyphenols, nitrates, and antioxidants. Here's how to use it. Eat half an avocado in the morning, on toast, in a smoothie, or just sliced with lemon and olive oil. For best results, eat it with a small amount of protein, like eggs or yogurt, and a low-sugar fruit like berries. If you're watching your weight, stick to half an avocado per day. It's calorie-dense, but nutrient-dense too. One client of mine, 66 years old, had been dealing with cold hands and feet for years. He thought it was just poor circulation in his limbs. But when we introduced avocado into his breakfast, along with other small changes, he noticed not just warmer extremities, but stronger function where it counted most. He said, "I didn't realize my breakfast could change the way I walk, think, and even perform. I thought food was fuel. Now I know it's medicine." He's absolutely right. And these three foods, beets, pomegranate, and avocado, form a foundational trio for any man who wants to improve blood flow naturally. You don't need to use all three at once. Even starting with one can make a noticeable difference. But if you're ready to go deeper, stay with me. Because in the next section, I'm going to share a real story from a man who thought he had lost everything until breakfast brought him back. Jerry didn't come in right away. He waited 6 weeks after his wife finally said the words out loud. "You don't touch me anymore." That sentence sat in the silence between them like a weight. It wasn't blame. It wasn't anger. It was sadness, and it woke something in him. At 71 years old, Jerry had already made peace with the idea that some things just fade. He still cared for his wife, still laughed with her, still held her hand during church, but behind those gestures was a quiet ache he hadn't voiced in years. He missed feeling like a man. When he finally came to see me, he didn't ask for medication. He didn't ask for tests. He just asked, "Is there anything natural that can help? I don't want to feel like I'm broken." I told him what I'll tell you now. You're not broken. You're under-fueled. You're under-supported. And your body, though aging, is still capable of responding if you give it what it needs. We started simple. No drastic diets. No scary routines. Just 3 changes to his breakfast. First, we replaced his usual toast and jam with a small bowl of Greek yogurt, a handful of berries, and half an avocado on the side. Second, we added 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice each morning. He said it felt like drinking something royal. Third, we introduced beetroot powder, just a teaspoon stirred into water, 3 mornings a week. That was it. No pills, no pressure, just food. Real, targeted food. The first week, he noticed warmer hands and feet. Could be the weather, he said. But by the second week, he stopped needing the extra cup of coffee in the morning. My energy feels steadier, he admitted, cautiously hopeful. By week 3, the change he didn't expect happened. He woke up with something he hadn't felt in almost a year, morning wood. He didn't shout it from the rooftops. He didn't even tell his wife that day. He just smiled to himself. And for the first time in a long time, he looked forward to breakfast. 2. The next time I saw him, he looked lighter, more upright. His voice carried more certainty. It's not just that things are working again, he said. It's how I feel inside, like I got a piece of myself back. Jerry's story isn't a miracle. It's biology responding to support. His arteries weren't beyond repair. His desire wasn't gone. His body just needed the right signals, nutrients that help open vessels, improve blood flow, and remind the nervous system that intimacy is still part of life. He now calls it his morning routine for manhood. And it's not just about sex. It's about identity, confidence, agency. The most powerful thing he said to me? Doc, I feel like I can say yes again, to her, to life, to me. That's the beauty of doing this naturally. When you nourish circulation, you don't just improve function, you restore belief. Coming up, I'll explain exactly how these foods work inside your body, so you understand not just what to do, but why it works. Because the more you know, the more you can take back control. Let's talk science. Simple, clear, and made for you. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your body. Not in complicated charts or medical textbooks, but in real, living tissue, your arteries, your blood, and the hidden chemistry that makes intimacy possible. Because every man who's ever struggled with firmness, stamina, or responsiveness has likely asked the same question. Why is this happening? Why now? And can anything really fix it, especially after 60? The answer lies in one simple molecule: nitric oxide. 3 words that can change the way your body performs. Nitric oxide is your blood vessel's best friend. It's a natural compound your body produces that tells your arteries when to relax, when to open wide, and when to send blood exactly where it's needed. Without it, nothing moves. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. When they're young, they're flexible. Water flows easily, even at low pressure. But over time, those hoses get stiff, narrow, gunked up with debris. So what happens? The flow weakens, pressure builds, and at the very end, the flowers, the plants, the areas that need that water most start to wither. That's what happens in your body. The smallest, most delicate blood vessels, especially in the pelvis, are the first to suffer when nitric oxide levels drop. And unfortunately, nitric oxide production naturally declines with age. By the time you're 60, you might be making half as much as you did at 30. But here's the good news. Nitric oxide is food responsive, which means you can boost it naturally. The first way? Dietary nitrates. These are found in beets, spinach, arugula, and similar foods. When you eat them, your body converts the nitrates into nitrites, then into nitric oxide. It's like flipping the switch back on. The second way? Polyphenols and antioxidants. Found in pomegranate juice, berries, and dark leafy greens, these protect nitric oxide from being destroyed by oxidative stress. Because nitric oxide is fragile. Without protection, it gets broken down before it ever reaches your blood vessels. The third way? Healthy fats and minerals. Avocados, nuts, and olive oil provide monounsaturated fats and magnesium, 2 key supporters of flexible arteries. Flexible arteries respond better to nitric oxide. Rigid ones don't. Now, you might be wondering, but I take blood pressure meds. Does that help with blood flow too? Yes, to some extent. But here's the difference. Medications manage symptoms. They lower the pressure, but they don't restore the natural signaling that makes blood flow intuitive, responsive, and intimate. When you boost nitric oxide naturally, you're not forcing your body. You're reminding it. You're restoring a pathway that's been neglected, not broken. And this matters for more than just intimacy. Improved nitric oxide supports your heart, your brain, even your legs and lungs. That's why many of my patients who eat this way report better stamina, easier breathing during walks, and clearer focus, not just better mornings in bed. One last point. Your endothelium, the lining of your blood vessels, is like the software of your circulatory system. It tells the arteries what to do. These foods, they nourish that lining. They reboot the software. So your system doesn't just run better, it runs the way it was meant to. This is what I want you to remember. Erectile function isn't just about testosterone. It's about blood flow. And blood flow is about nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is about what you put on your plate. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're just one good breakfast away from telling your arteries it's time to wake up. Next, let me show you how to begin, gently, consistently, with one small action that turns knowledge into change. Here's what I want you to know. Maybe more than anything else I've said so far, you don't have to fix everything overnight. You don't need to wake up tomorrow and change your entire life. You don't need to throw away your pantry, join a gym, or meditate for 2 hours. You just need to start with one small step. In my clinic, I've seen time and again that the men who succeed aren't the ones who chase perfection. They're the ones who build momentum, quietly, consistently. They pick one food, one habit, one moment in their morning, and they make it count. That's how change begins. So maybe tomorrow, instead of skipping breakfast or grabbing coffee on an empty stomach, you pour a small glass of pomegranate juice, or add a few slices of avocado to your eggs, or stir a teaspoon of beet powder into warm water and drink it slowly as the sun comes up. That's it. No pressure, no guilt, no need to do all three at once, because your body doesn't need a miracle. It needs a message. A message that says, I'm paying attention now. A message that says, you're still worth taking care of. A message that says, we're not done yet. And I'll be honest with you, most men never send that message. They either give up quietly, or they put their faith in pills and procedures, hoping for quick results without ever addressing the root of the issue. But not you. The fact that you've made it this far in this video tells me something about you. You're willing to try, to learn, to listen to your body instead of ignoring it. And that makes you different. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. I remember one man in his 70s, retired, widowed, had all but given up on the idea of intimacy. He started with just one food, half an avocado every morning. After 2 weeks, he added beet juice. By week 4, he told me something changed, not just in his body, but in his mindset. I stopped thinking of myself as old, he said. I started thinking of myself as alive. That shift didn't come from supplements or surgery. It came from a choice. A simple choice repeated every morning, and you can make that same choice. No matter how long it's been, no matter how far you think you've drifted from the man you used to be, that man is still there. He hasn't left. He's just waiting for you to invite him back. So tomorrow, choose one food, one bite, one signal to your body that says, let's move forward. That's how blood flow begins. That's how confidence rebuilds. That's how mornings change. You don't need to be anyone else. You don't need to catch up. You just need to begin. In the final section, I'll show you how this small beginning can ripple into lasting strength. And I'll invite you, gently, to share this message with someone else who might need it too. If this message stirred something in you, hold on to it. Because men like you don't just need information. You need hope that feels real. You need to know that it's not too late, that your body hasn't given up on you, that you're still capable of feeling strong, clear, and alive again. And you are. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s rebuild their circulation, rediscover their desire, and reconnect with their partners simply because they took that first step. They stopped waiting. They stopped assuming it was over. They chose to try. And you can too. If this video gave you even a spark of encouragement, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, not for me, but so YouTube knows this message is worth sharing with other men who feel like they're slipping through the cracks. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're going to try one of these foods tomorrow, or a 0 if something's still unclear, so I can guide you. I read every comment because this isn't just content. It's a conversation. And if you have a story to tell about what you've tried, what's worked, what hasn't, share it below. You never know who might read it and feel less alone. This community is built on trust, not shame. We speak openly here. We support each other here. And if you want more videos like this, science-backed, simple, and respectful, tap subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring you real tools to restore what matters most: your blood flow, your confidence, your life. You're not done. This is just the next chapter, a better one. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take action, take care, and keep showing up for yourself. You're worth it.